क्या
वो अलग से ही चमके, जिसने इसमें ऑप्शन नहीं होता ना वो वाला?
नहीं होता ना पिन करने का ऑप्शन, क्लिक करके हो जाता हो तो। हाँ अभी थोड़ा सा वो रखो कि मुझे नहीं पता माइक ऑन है या नहीं। मेरा ये अरे ये नहीं लगा के आया हूँ जल्दीबाजी में। 400 मिसाल लेके आता सस्ते।
कौन है?
काम करोगे एक बार ना माइक ऑन करके हेलो हेलो बोलना, ठीक है? मैं एक लाइव चला के देखूँ कल चल भी रहा है नहीं।
किसके पे करा तुमने?
सब पे कर दिया। तो माइक ऑन करके हेलो बोलना।
हेलो।
डन। मेरे फोन से आई थी ना बस।
हेलो।
हेलो
तेरे को तो हो ही नहीं सकता ना, माइक का ऑप्शन ही नहीं होगा।
नहीं होगा ना। मेरे फोन से आई थी ना बस।
हेलो। माइक ऑन ही हो रहा है।
हेलो हेलो हेलो। हेलो हेलो।
Hello, everyone.
हेलो 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 हेलो
Good morning. Very good morning. We will be starting shortly.
Hello,
Am I
everyone.
audible?
Yeah, am I audible? Actually, there was some
Good
problem with
morning,
my.
all.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes.
So, Tessin, everybody has joined, all the speakers?
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
you are. Hello.
Yes, Aparna, everyone's joined. Please start.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. Sorry for the delay of few minutes. So this is Aparna Mishra from SPFL, Sports Skill Council. I welcome you all to the workshop for the principles on importance of physical education, integrated sports, and self-defense in schools. Today, we have a lineup of great speakers who will focus on how important is integrating physical education, sports, and self-defense in schools. So to begin with, we have our first speaker is Dr. Saha. Dr. Saha is the Director of Skill Education of CBSE. I will request Dr. Saha for the opening session and to share his views on the topic today. Dr. Saha, please. Dr. Saha, are you there?
Sir?
Dr. Saha? He's just joining in.
He has to.
Dr. Saha, are you there? Listen, would you like to start? So as you all know, like Sports Skill Council is a part of Skill Ministry, and we are actually doing many self-defense programs around the country. So we are starting with new things. So therefore, we wanted you to be on same platform wherein we can share our views to you with you all.
आईडी तो हाँ, मीटिंग हॉस्ट दिखाई दे रहा है yeah,
Dr.
now I-
Sahab.
yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Sorry,
Please
some
share your, yeah,
technical glitch was there. I'm just
no issues, sir. No
switching on my
issues.
camera.
Yeah.
I think there is some trouble in switching on camera. No issue. So, good good morning to all of you. I think it's a special privilege for me to welcome all the dignitaries especially the eminent sports personality, table tennis player, and our special person, Madam Kiran Bedi, and of course, all the school leaders. It's a really a great occasion for CBSE to host this webinar in association with Sports Sector Skills Council. So as during the winter, I don't know how many are still going in the morning walk or jogging, but this is high time to energize with the talk with the sports personality so that regular fitness and other arena of life we can really look into, and definitely with this kind of event, I think all the not only the school leader or teacher, especially the youngsters of the country, must focus upon all these agenda. Then only I think besides fitness, sports, academic, skilling, all agenda what primarily we are focusing on the new education policy, definitely we are going to achieve. So I'm really thankful to Mr. Tasin and of course his entire team, and definitely you in this winter morning. There's a huge response. A lot of our school leader teachers have joined. That shows the interest, and I think the next 1 hour, I definitely request the keynote speaker to find time so that some kind of interactions really happens with you, and wish you all the best. Thank you. Thank you, Tasinji, and of course, all of you for being here, and especially Aparnaji. Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir. So to begin the session today, to add on, I would really like to request Mr. Tehsil Zai, the CEO of SPFL, to give introduction of SPFL. Mr. Tehsil. Mr. Tehsil Zai, are you there? He's the CEO of SPFL, and he has got great vision on how we can, expand his self-defense programs and how we can integrate sports in the education. So over to you, Mr. Tehsil Zai. Are you there?
Maybe he's not able to unmute because some problem I also faced initially.
Yeah. So we'll wait for a
Let the
few
technical
seconds.
team look into the matter.
Yeah. Gaurav, are you there? Can you just please check? Well, since morning, there's something happening with the Google Meet. So there is a problem actually. Maybe some network issue is there. So that's a problem. So for the principals who have joined from South India, I must tell you the North India is really cold. It's all fog all over the place. That's a very tough winters here.
He joined.
Okay. Hello.
So am I audible now?
Yeah. Now you're audible. Yes. Please
Thank you
go
so
ahead.
much. So technology has its own limitations. I'm sorry for this.
So Tehsil, please, you're requested to give the introduction of SPFL to the principals over here.
Sure. I'm sorry to all of you for this technical glitch. My name is Tehsin Zahid, and I represent Sports and Fitness Sector Skill Council. Sports and Fitness Sector Skill Council has been created by Ministry of Skill Development in association with Ministry of Sports to work on qualification courses which are relevant to this sector. So just a quick outlook. In fact, we have been working for last 5 years, and minus the period of this COVID, we have till now trained and certified approximately 2 lakh people, and across country, we have our 110 training centers, where the students come, take courses on sports and physical education, and then we have a setup where we also help them getting placed. Now, in relevance to school education, we have created the courses in association and under the guidance of CBSE also. We have supported for the skilling in the classes 9 till 12 as your skilling program goes. We have been helping, and we have been helping various group of schools for certifying and training their teachers also, which is absolutely, there are no charges to that. And we have been helping to inculcate the new content and the courses that have been created for skilling purposes. The Sports Council has also been the only nodal agency for self-defense program. And the self-defense program, as per the CBSE guidelines, also under SQUAR, we are also helping various schools to implement the self-defense program. The council is promoted by Federation of Chambers of Industry and NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation. So since we are already late, I don't want to take too much of time here. Maybe I have circulated my email ID through the notice which has been given to sent by CBSE. So if any other relevant queries are from any of you, please write to us. We'll be very happy to support you to implement physical education programs in your schools, to implement integrated sports and self-defense. So since we are late, I'm just signing off now. So let's start with the main webinar today. Thank you all for this patience, and I look forward for working with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tesin. Aparna, are you online?
Aparna? Aparna, you there? So may I request Geeta to please take it over? I think there's a technology issue again.
Sure. Thank you, Tesin. So I represent the school program of the SPEFL, and I'm here to briefly talk to you about physical literacy. So we are very aware that adolescent children have not been given enough opportunities to move. In fact, according to a WHO fact sheet of 2022, more than 72% of male adolescents and more than 76% of female adolescents are not getting the recommended level of physical activity in India. There has also been a lot of research showing that the next generation has a shorter life expectancy. In a video called 5 Extra Years, it shows that the next generation has a shorter lifestyle or a life expectancy of 5 years because they're not moving enough. And as educators, I think they're all very well aware that getting children to be active and participate has become a challenge. And lifestyle also does not help because now urban areas, there are smaller homes, no access to parks and open spaces, and any kind of a physical activity experience is actually in the school, because outside of school, they don't feel safe enough to be participating in many things. This has resulted in a widening of the gap between sports and other forms of physical activity, creating the impression that sports is the only way to be physically active. We need to impress upon children that being active comes from every form of movement, whether it is grooving to music, exploring nature, social interactions, adventure, aesthetic forms, and any other kind of physical activity, because whenever you're able to engage your body in movement, it's physical activity. And physical education is a structured curriculum that helps in promoting physical activity across all age groups. So in this effort, the National Education Policy of 2020 has clearly outlined its objectives to mainstream physical education, but enforcing it as a rule does not translate into willing participation by the children. We know that external motivation only takes them this far. Not everybody is willing and pushing themselves to actually become active. And it's like they are obedient for the duration of schooling, and then they forget all about physical activity. The aim is to change the internal quality of every child and instill in them a sense of self-discipline, a sense of responsibility that they want to be active for life. And world over, there has been a transitioning that's happening. Where one is moving to a physical literacy-based approach. And the idea is that in India also, we are bringing in a more physical literacy informed program. In fact, we have been in school since 2014, and we may be one of the first countries to make physical literacy a fundamental human right under Article 21, which is currently being considered by Supreme Court. So what does physical literacy actually mean? It's not just a new term. Physical literacy is actually our relationship with movement and physical activity throughout life. So it's not an end result or a normative standard that we hope to achieve. It's not like saying you achieve 5 marks or 3 marks or something like that. It's more like building an attitude or inculcating in our students the disposition to be willing movers, because right now the biggest killer is our sedentary lifestyle. And physical literacy is about valuing engagement in physical activity for every child and making it a consistency in a daily practice for health. It is about, the International Physical Literacy Association defines physical literacy as the motivation, confidence, physical competence, knowledge, and understanding to value and take responsibility for engagement in physical activities for life. So physical literacy is not just about building the skill and having a earmarked end result, but rather it is about building an attitude to understand the importance of physical activity and be active for life. And primarily the difference between current physical education trends world over and physical literacy is that traditionally we focused on sports-based curriculum, which is a model of exclusion. So you win a match, you get selected for the semifinals, then you go to the finals, and therefore only the best of the best students are applauded, trained, promoted, and they represent the school, win medals, and feel confident and all that. What we now present is a model of inclusion, where every child is encouraged to participate in physical activities to their level of competency without being made to feel like they are a failure. That is not just in verbal terms of telling them you're a failure, but in recent research has shown that when children who do not thrive in competitive sports are forced to participate in a non-athletic student who's supposed to be in a competitive sport, it becomes extremely anxious for the child, and they refrain from being active or participating in physical activity for the rest of their life. So while children who thrive on goal-oriented competitive sports-based approach need to be motivated and challenged, there are others who need to be given a more process-oriented approach, like, building their skill and competency on the physical level, but also working on their affective domain of building their attitudes, their emotions, making them feel confident, working on their cognitive domain of helping children understand why, when, and how they need to move. So every session of physical education ought to be age appropriate with a wide variety of activities that addresses every child and makes them feel included. So the sessions must have clear learning objectives on all 3 domains. What is the physical competency that we will be building during the session? How will we be emotionally motivating them, building their confidence? What will be the cognitive insight they will gain, or the increase in understanding for that movement session? And the session should be outcome-based rather than result-based. And that makes a huge difference, because a result is a judgment saying that you passed or failed, whereas an outcome is we gave an intervention to understand certain things. You may have understood it fully, or maybe you're still falling short, but you keep building on it and you keep developing it. And therefore, students who are not goal-oriented or competitive also will be motivated by stimulating process that is fun, accessible, meaningful, because if they don't find purpose in that drill or sport, they're not going to participate. So it has to be a meaningful activity. And we have to build their confidence by giving them small victories, breaking down the larger goals into more accessible, smaller goals for every child to perform. And we have to build their competency in fundamental movement skills and gross motor skills, especially in the young age, because only when you expand the amount or the number of children who are participating in sports and willing to explore, you're actually making a lot more number of students available to become peak performers and podium performers. So we have to increase the foundation and give a lot more opportunity, especially in grades KG to 8. We have to give them a horizontal exposure to a variety of movement patterns so that the program can include pattern recognition, movements to enhance cognition, for rhythmic literacy, to present a wide variety to improve their neuroplasticity, theatrical movement, something by which every child is engaged. And they understand that physical education is not just off the body, building a skill, but through the body, because that is when you actually live life, when you understand that your body is basic and primary for living life. So the whole idea of the program is to ensure that we don't leave any child behind, that they get enough opportunity to enjoy being physically active so that it becomes a lifestyle for them, where it's not about winning a medal alone, but also about understanding the value and sanctity of this body and how they can be at their best possible self for life. So I firmly believe that our most important resource is our body, because it's the only means by which anyone can achieve anything at all. And therefore, it is our responsibility to impress upon our children that physical activity is both their birthright as well as their responsibility. Thank you so much for giving me these few minutes. Back to you, Aparna. Aparna?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm getting so much of notification on my phone, that I'm unable to. Okay, fine. So taking forward, I would like to request our special speaker, Mr. Sharath Kamal. I'm sorry, I'm unable to switch on my camera due to some problem. Mr. Sharath Kamal is a table tennis player. He's 10 times national champion, Padma Shri and Khel Ratna Awardee. He's a gold medalist in Commonwealth Games. I will request to Mr. Sharath Kamal, please join in and share your views on this. Mr. Sharath Kamal. Gaurav, can you please stop notifications? They're just coming on my screen and I'm unable to perform anything. Mr. Sharath Kamal, are you there?
Yeah, he's very much here, but he's not able to unmute. So,
Gaurav, please, please unmute Mr. Kamal.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
So, मैम दे रखा मैंने उनका access.
Okay. Hi, ma'am. Hello. Mr. Kamal, are you able to unmute your microphone?
Hello.
Yeah.
So my colleague is not able to join.
He's not able to join.
Sharath, may I request you to just log out and come back in again, because we're not able to change you from a viewer to a contributor. So if you can just step out of the meeting once and please log in again.
Even we have a guest of honor also. She's also joined it.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Shah sir, please join with a Gmail account.
Yes, so every opportunity is a learning opportunity. I think we just realized that we're able to make only someone who has joined in from a Gmail account as a contributor in the Google Meet. So we're hoping that we will soon be able to make Mr. Sharath Kamal also a contributor. Gaurav, can you please check? So the idea of today's program has been to literally highlight how we need to focus on physical education. And I think Madam is here, Madam Kiran Bedi. So Aparna, why don't we go ahead with that, and I will speak to Sharath in the meantime.
That's what because ma'am has an appointment here. I just got a message. So over to ma'am, I think, just a moment, let me just, even my thing is also going out. Can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear
Hello?
me, Aparna?
Yes, yes.
Can you hear,
Yes,
hear
ma'am.
me?
Just a moment. Hello?
Excellent. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Excellent. I want to congratulate you for the initiative you've taken, Aparna, and very happy to hear Geeta. Was that Geeta Krishna Raj speaking?
Yes, ma'am.
Brilliant. Look, Geeta has already set the tone. And what I had thought of, Geeta has already said. I'm not going to repeat what Geeta said because I can't do it
Geeta,
better.
can you hear me?
I
Yes.
can't.
Geeta?
Better. Can you hear me, Geeta?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
So what Geeta is, my fellow, first of all, I want to also thank you, Padma, for including me in this very illustrious galaxy of principals and such wonderful, such great schools. It's an honor and a privilege this morning. And having heard Geeta, my thinking has switched to another wavelength. Because what Geeta is saying is the limitations of your outdoor activities at the moment, which I notice because of the pollution. In fact, children are being held back and say no outdoor activities. Am I right, Geeta?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I right, Aparna? So I think the issue is very challenging at the moment because children are being made sedentary because of pollution. But therefore, what do? Question is, what do you do if when you are directed to say, and you're not directed, the situation is that you don't want your children to pick up asthma and breathe bad air. I think that's the challenge which you need to discuss. It's not the question of need for physical education only, but also where you have this natural environmental hazard, and this hazard not is not going to go away. I think that's a challenge, Aparna. Suggest you discuss amongst your principals that what do you do against these odds? I believe they're all Delhi schools. Am I right?
They're from across the country, ma'am.
Oh, across the country, the situation not the same. So we have the polluted cities and we have the cleaner cities. I think so. Therefore, there are two choices. If we can make, what do you do with when outdoor is in hazard? And number two, what do you do when it's not hazard? And that you can, I think these are the two things. See, after having heard you, my thoughts have totally changed in the sense I would have said what is the importance of outdoor activities and sports, etc. But I don't think that's necessary. You all know it. It's all written there. It's written all over, and we've all experienced it. Therefore, I would suggest let this session, let this galaxy of principles talk of two things. One, what do you do with children and break the sedentary lifestyle in cities which where at times, it's not all the time, where at times the environment is not healthy outside, external environment is not healthy. And second is, what do you do where it's healthy to go out? And number three, what do you do when it's healthy to go out or have a sports orientation, but you have no infrastructure? I think there are three categories, as I mentioned. So now question is let me begin with where you have an infrastructure and you don't have a problem of pollution. Then there is no excuse for any child to be left behind. And I like this, Geeta, what I said. It's not always competition. Let's promote games which provide collaboration and team building. So let's go in for games which involve maximum participation, where everybody is a winner. Every child walks away with a trophy saying, I did it. So that's a sense which Geeta also mentioned, that we inculcate in every child a sense of achievement, a child of winning streak, and not a loser. However, also instilling with these child, how can they be better? How can they do better? Because winning and losing also has to be learned while when you were a child. You have to learn collaboration. You have to learn team building. You have to learn coalition. You have to learn team coming together and give and take. But you also have to learn competition, and you also have to learn to lose. But you also have to learn to win after losing, and you also have to learn to lose after win after losing. So win to lose to win. Now these cannot be done without competitions. So competition is important, but collaboration, team building, coming together, etc., is more important. That's the challenge I think you educationists have in hand at the moment. Now, with the resource, those schools, category A, resource schools, are they using every inch of the land, every inch of the ground for every child, and how? I think, do they have a child's plan? Which is the sports period? Which is the game the child is playing? So that that infrastructure is not lost. So I think that's a challenge, and that's the accountability of every teacher and the management, that the children, where you have resources, where there is no problem of pollution, is the every child engaged in a sport, an outdoor activity or a sporting activity, and is the child imbibing those sports qualities? I think that's a key. It's not ordinary. It's not just teaching theory. Sports is not theory. Sports is all about practice. How have you lived it and experienced it? So I would say the onus. So I think that's what this group must have an SOP, must have an accountability, must have a measurability. Has every child got it? Even if the child is not running, doesn't run, it's in other. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a marathon. Let's go sidewalk. So we walk, we mark time. We have to bring the child out of our indoor classroom with the activities gradually, and then expose him to available resources and ask the child and see the child or encourage the child to choose any one of them the child is fond of or is inclined towards, and involve the parenting in it, because the parents are also holding back certain children from certain issues. So your PTA is very, very important. How do you hold? Now, I'm only on category A. It's called A, B, C category. The category A, you are resourced. There's no problem pollution. You've got the facilities, limited facilities though, but how is your every child, at which time of the period is he involved into use of those activities? And in those activities, is it team game? Is it competition? Is it winning? Is it losing? All that has to be taught. You see, it's a whole package. My category B. Category B is where you have no pollution, but you also don't have resources. So what do? Why do the children suffer? Why should those children lose out on their whole upbringing of with the sports because the school did not have the infrastructure? I would say that if we could then that it's the onus on the leadership to find out which is the next available resource available. There is a lot of government infrastructure lying idle, and they also lying waste. And I must tell you, supposing you're on a beach side, beach walk is a great exercise. Beach football, beach volleyball is a great exercise. That means you're using the beach. You're using the beach to run. You're using the beach to walk, right? You have a riverside. So I would say find a way by which what nearest outdoor activity which is available where you can walk down, because you have no, but you have no infrastructure inside. You have no pool. You have no running track, right? You don't have a sport, nothing. So the question is, how can you use the grade which is next door? So that means you need to do a little searching and then collaborate. Either you have a natural resource, you have municipal corporation to support you. That means you're working with government, you're working with municipalities, you're working with policing. Police has a ground. Let's say policemen, they have a parade ground, but they don't use it all the time. So we are now to map. That means mapping our resources, what is so close by and which is motorable, walkable, drivable, and so that children get an exposure. No child should be left with experience of an outdoor activity, because then the onus comes on the child to then grow and then carry it forward. So this is second category. B, no infrastructure, but infrastructure close by. Have they done the mapping? Now mapping also includes another school which has the resources. Can you collaborate with that school? Can you do MOUs with that school? Can you financially compensate that school? This is what. So it is the desire and the passion of the management to see my child or my children get some access to a sports activity. And there are, you know what? There are Delhi stadiums. Delhi has any number of parks, any number of lovely parks close by today. Fortunately, they're well maintained and they're looked after and they're secure also, by the way. And therefore, they also have stadiums close by. How can we use that infrastructure optimally? And that's at no cost. That's a very no cost, or rather no cost. So I'm on category B. That means the onus is on collaboration. Now category C, where it's polluted and you cannot children take, but you have something indoor. If some, then use that. Whatever is indoor, use that. But if you have that, now that nothing, your classrooms can become a sports ground. Your classrooms can become chess game. Your classroom can become table tennis. Your classrooms can become games. So I think we need to convert classrooms also into halls. Our assembly hall can become a volleyball, can become basket. How can we do this? I'm saying I'm not talking through my hat. I'm talking through how do I make whatever I have available now created into a sports ground for my children, because I can't take the children outside. Here also it is a collaboration with close by facilities. So I think the onus, the challenge lies here, summing up, is A, B, C. Which category are you? But are you worried? The question is, how concerned are you that my child gets, if it's your child, how do I, if it's my child, every child of the for the principal and management is her child or his child. How do I provide it? Where is this facility available? I must struggle to do this. It's beg, borrow, steal. It's beg, borrow, steal, or pay. Question is this. I think once you do that, beg, borrow, steal, and pay, and find a way, and or involve the parents in some way, it's the question is your education. Let's get one thing clear. No education is complete without a sports. Nothing is complete. All of us who've achieved in life have got it because we had more energy. We had more energy. We had more fitness. We had more winning and losing streak. We had more emotional balance, right? We valued our nutrition. We valued our time. We valued friends. We did team building, collaboration, competition. We learned to lose and get up again to win. So I think these are the things we undoubtedly are the benefits of sports. Now, yoga can be anywhere. Yoga can be anywhere. Is yoga integral to a classroom? Is yoga meditation? Two things, if we can also include as a very essential in personal development, is yoga and quietude. You may call it meditation, you may call it quietude. So look, this is not linked with outdoor pollution. So is the child beginning with yoga or having a yoga session? Is the child doing meditation where he's learning to concentrate and be quiet? Is he learning to maybe say a prayer? I think spirituality and through yoga is an essential part of the education. So while we are making their intelligence quotient, IQ, which is coming through books, we must make the emotional quotient, which is coming through books. And through yoga and meditation, etc., we develop the spiritual quotient. It's a balance of these spiritual quotient, intelligence quotient, and the emotional quotient, which is make a complete child. And we've all received the benefits. Whoever practiced more IQ, got in more. Whoever did more EQ, got in more. And whoever did more SQ, got in more. But if we do all the three in the balance, and at the learn to balance it in our school time, I think you're giving the child lifelong skills of a healthy, long life, which is a very big asset to the nation as a whole. I thought this is what Aparna, having heard Geeta Krishna Raj, I'm so glad I heard you because I joined in earlier. I joined you earlier and I got to know. Otherwise, I would have wasted my time telling you the benefits of physical education, etc. I would have been. So it's like taking coal to castle. No, I don't want to take coal to castle. I want to say, no, look, once you open a school, once you're a teacher, once you're a manager, once you're a principal, once you're a headmaster, once you're a school manager, it's your responsibility to generate resources, find the resources, create the resources, and link the child with physical education and extracurricular activity. Could be music, dance, painting, art. All these extracurricular activities are actually character building, personality development, life skills. I think these are life skills. We owe it to our teachers, to our children to read, to write, to play, to laugh, to sing, to dance, to create, and I think make great friends. This is, I think, Aparna, I would like to contribute if I've been heard clearly. Thank you so much. What an honor to see so many principals on the screen today. Lovely. Thank you so much. I wish you all very well.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It's always been an inspiration listening to you, and today has been no different. Thank you so much for being here. Aparna has not been able to join back on the call, so I'm just going to quickly say, not that Dr. Kiran Bedi needs an introduction, but we are honored to have her here, and she is the 24th Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. She has served with the United Nations as a civilian police advisor in peacekeeping operations, and she's an Asian tennis champion. And more than all that, I think she is a complete human being, someone who inspires people because her life is an inspiration. And we are so honored to have you here, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I'll beg leave and you go ahead, but you have to find schools co-collaboration. No school ground should be, no classroom, no hall, no auditorium should be without an activity, and no child without a memory of an activity like this.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
All
Thank
the best.
you. And as ma'am said, the skills that we are trying to develop are not just about vocational skills. It's also about life skills, and physical literacy is a very important life skill. And here we have with us another eminent speaker, Mr. Sharath Kamal. I first want to apologize to you, Mr. Sharath, that we were not able to unmute you, and I'm so glad you're back here. And he is a TT player, 10 times national champion, a Padma Shri Awardee, Khel Ratna Awardee, gold medalist in Commonwealth Games. And we are looking forward to hearing you. So, Mr. Sharath, over to you. If you can unmute.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you very much. Sorry for the confusion. I couldn't figure out how to unmute myself.
Thank you.
Anyways, it was fantastic listening to all of you. Firstly, Kiran, Bedi ma'am, fantastic. Yeah, as you said, it's just inspiring. You know, the moment she starts speaking, it's so inspiring. I've listened to her a couple of times earlier also, and every time you listen to her, the voice, the energy that she has is phenomenal. And yeah, I would like to thank all the principals for having me over here on the CBSE forum. I too studied in a CBSE school. It's called Padma in Chennai. So I started the sport of table tennis at a very tender age of almost 4 years. So my father and uncle have been my coaches, and they introduced me to the sport of table tennis. And by the age of 8, 9 years of age, I had a strong liking to the sport. And I still remember when I was 10, 11, I used to wake my dad up at 6 o'clock in the morning to take me to practice so that, you know, we could go there, play for an hour and come back to school. School was at 8:10 at that time. So the prayer would start at 8:10 and I had to be back in the school. Slowly started doing that, and then we figured out that it was getting too hectic. So we reached out to the school management, and they said it's okay if you miss the prayer, but make sure you're there for the first class, first period that starts off in the school. So they gave me that permission to spend a little bit longer time in the table tennis court so that I could join school a little bit later. But um, the school, as I said, of course, I was quite lucky, quite fortunate that my parents played sport, so they encouraged me to continue playing the sport. Back then, in the 90s, let's say the early 90s, or even till 2000s, sport was always seen as a co-curricular activity. And it was always like it was always taken as a hobby. You play until your 8th standard, 9th standard, and slowly switch over to studies. Yeah, that's how it was. But for me, I always wanted to be a table tennis player ever since I was 12 years old, 13 years, and I wanted to take it up professionally. So I was quite lucky to have my parents in the line of sport. But I think I was more fortunate because of my school. They understood, they were very open. So my school is a lot into art and dance. So they encourage a lot of art and dance, but they never had so much of a sporting background. But every kid that played sport in the school would encourage them to go out for coaching classes and give them the required support that was necessary. So I still remember when I was in my 6th standard, 7th standard, um, if I had tournaments, state level tournaments during my exams, they would have the exams, either one day prior or there have been days when I have written the exam from 6 o'clock to 8:30 in the morning, or 8 o'clock, 6 to 8 in the morning, and then I would go off for my match at 9 o'clock. So that kind of a support they would always give. I would really like to thank my physical director teacher back then. Dilip sir was our physical director. So he took a lot of interest into sport, and any kid who was really showing interest into the sport, they would really come up and encourage it. And I was also as I was playing sport table tennis, I was also quite athletic. I was also quite tall. I'm quite a tall person. So I was quite tall even in school. So the physical director teacher would always ask me to play basketball or volleyball for the school, just because I'm tall. It's not because of my skill sets, but just because I was tall and I could play a little bit of multi-sport. And at the same time, every Sunday we would, like Kiran Bedi ma'am was saying, every Sunday we would end up in the beach. I live in Chennai, so we have a beach there. So every Sunday we would be either playing football, cricket, or frisbee on the beach. So I was exposed to a lot of multi-sport. So there was no early specialization. Of course, I was very focused in table tennis, but at the same time, I was playing a lot of other sports. So, and I personally like to play a lot of team sport because I like the teamwork that happens, and or maybe because I'm spending so much of time individually in the table tennis hall. So maybe that could also be a reason why I like so much of team sport. So every Sunday we would look forward to go to the beach, spend that whole morning there, play until the sun was really hot, and then get into the beach, have a swim, and then get back home. So that is the memory that I really have of that young age. And as I was slowly starting to grow the ranks from the state level player into a national level player, there was one particular incident which I would like to share with all of you. It was in my 12th standard, and I'd missed out the half yearly exams of the 12th standard, so which is my board exams. And I missed out because of the national championships, but I did well in the national championships. So I got an opportunity to represent India for the first time in the month of January. And January were my pre-boards. So again, I go to the principal and I put in this request saying that, ma'am, I'll have to miss the pre-board. And she was like, Sharath, you already missed out half yearly. We don't know what level are you in academics. You really haven't written exams in the recent times. From my side, it's going to be a tough one, but let's wait for the correspondent member, the dean and director, to come in and let her decide on this. And she had come post lunch, the dean and director, Mrs. YGP, and the principal and myself. We went to her room, and the principal, ma'am, she explained the situation to the dean and director, and immediately the dean and director's first question was, ma'am, how many kids in our school represent India? The principal said, it's only Sharath who can do it. Then we should encourage him, were the words from the dean and director. So she said, Sharath, I will let you go this time because this is the first time you're going to represent India. You might not get this opportunity. We don't know how often will you get these opportunities. But at this point in time, I would like to encourage you, go in for the tournament. But at the same time, when you come back, even during the study holidays, February was a lot of study holidays for the board exams. So she said, every day you will have to come into school, you will be in the library, and we will make sure one of the teachers are with you. And I accepted this. It was almost like a promise that I made to her. And I finished the tournament. I came back. I spent every day in the library, and along with me, a few of my friends also joined because they were also asking if they could come in and study along with me. And principal ma'am was she directly, willingly said, you can go, you can all 3-4 of you can go in and study. And we would spend 3-4 hours in the school every day, and we had the teachers there at our disposal to ask any doubts. And by the end of February, I was pretty confident about my exams. And in the board exam that year, I scored an 82%. So studies, academics, and sport go together. So you rarely find a very good sports person not doing so well in academics. That's also because our ability to concentrate is much higher. Our ability to grasp things are good. Our logical thinking in terms of solving problems are better. That's because sport teaches you all of that. We are traveling for tournaments, we are playing matches, not just the tournament as such, but also taking care of ourselves. We need to wake up at a certain time. We need to make sure that we have we eat the right things, we go to bed at the right time, we follow a certain discipline. So sport teaches you many attributes in life which are embedded, which help you grow a long way in your professional career also. Let's say if you're not taking sport as a primary career, it still helps you a lot in academics and your professional life also. So and also time management is something which we as sports persons, we learned it at a very young age, because I know, okay, I need to finish practice at 7:45 so that I can be in school by 8:45. The moment that becomes late, everything falls behind. So I know I need to finish by 7:45. I need to, it's a 15-minute ride with my bicycle to my home. Then I go home. I have my bags packed already the night before. I can't pack it that morning. I have to make sure that I pack it the night before. and then get into school, come back from school, do our homework, take a little bit rest, and then again go in for the evening practice. So sport teaches us a lot of attributes, that helps us a lot in life. And I would, the success that I've had in my career, I would attribute a lot of that to my younger years when I was in school. And I constantly keep telling the young kids that we need to uh, be active in sport, because sport is not just keeping you active physically, but it also keeps you mentally active also. So there's a lot of thinking that happens, and every time even now, if I'm low on energy, when I do a little bit of sport, let's say I do some exercise, I do some yoga, I do a little bit of table tennis, and then when I come back, I feel a lot more energized. So even when I had to in my school days, when I had to study, if things were getting too boring, um, dad would always say, we can just go play table tennis for 30 minutes and come back. My mom would not accept it. She would say he needs to study, but my dad would be so confident that no, it's okay if he goes there, plays, and then comes back. He'll be more fresh, and that next 1 hour, what he's going to study will be better, rather than just staying here and him whiling away time for the next 3-4 hours. So with that, that is what my personal experience has been with in terms of school, academics, and sport. And I really see a lot of things changing in our Indian mindset, in the Indian economy, where sport is slowly becoming a primary, let's say, a primary field where every kid, every parent, everybody in India are investing a lot into sport. And I feel schools are the main um, place, or let's say the foundation, where the kids go out to play, um, learn to win and lose, and most importantly, you make friends, you make memories, a lot of memories on the court and off the court. And that is what leads you through your life, till the end of your life. So with this, yeah, I would like to thank CBSE for giving me this opportunity, and also um, giving me this opportunity to listen to Kiran, Bedi ma'am, and Geeta ma'am. So thank you very much, and hope all of you have a good day.
Thank you so much, Sharath. That was really inspiring to listen to your story. And yes, it was also inspiring to listen about Srimati Vaiji Parsardi. She's a dear friend. She was a dear friend of mine too. And I know that many schools are supporting their sports stars as much as they can. And your story gives them more inspiration to go that way. Thank you so much. I would like to call Mr. Tehsin Zaid to give some concluding remarks.
Thank you, Geeta, and hopefully.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'm audible now.
Geeta?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you. So once again, a big sorry to all of you, all my respected principals of the schools, teachers. The technical issue just kept the time off for me also, and I really missed some of very intriguing and a very important remarks from Bedi ma'am also. But nevertheless, what ends is always good at the end of the day. So I'm so thankful, and I really acknowledge the effort of Dr. Kiran Bedi ji, Sharath ji, Dr. Biswajit Saha. I'm so thankful to you, sir, for coordinating this entire event. Dr. R.P. Singh ji, my co-host Aparna, and Geeta. So I'm once again thank you all of you, and I hope that we keep on conducting such webinars for principals, for PT teachers, for various. In fact, I would one point of time would love to involve parents also in these kind of webinars. So because the kids spends approximately 60 to 65 or 70% of their time with their parents at home also after going from schools. So I think it needs to be a comprehensive, collective webinars together. And as a council, sports council, we are here to support all the endeavors which schools want to take in promoting physical literacy, integrated sports, and self-defense trainings in their schools. We are very happy to support you. Any kind of technical issues or any kind of more knowledge issues that you want to raise with us, you just please send your queries to our email ID. And we have our state offices in majority of the states, and we will ask our officers or the state directors to visit you personally and discuss out whatever is required at your end. We will be shortly announcing a totally sponsored TOT program for PT teachers of your schools. So please send the nominations of your PT teachers who can attend a TOT program from Sports Council and get a certificate, a Government of India certificate also from us. We are the skilling and the certifying and awarding body for sports and physical education. So any kind of other requirements or help that you need, just please let me know. Once again, I'm so thankful to all my principals here, and I look forward, again, I'm saying I look forward to keep working with you very closely on inculcating these habits amongst our young kids. So thank you, Geeta, for this opportunity.
Yeah, thank you. And we've just shared a form link. We request you to kindly fill that out. It's part of our mandate to have a list of participants. So we'll be happy if you can please open your chat box, and a form link has been provided. Please submit the same. Thank you so much for joining us.